Hi there, my name is Marie Gonzalez, and this is my video recommendation for the Walmart and China case analysis. I do have my assignment description, so I'll be looking down just to make sure I touch base on everything. So I did want to just give you the brief introduction and overview. So Walmart came into the industry as an emerging industry. Sam Walton back in 1946 kind of was an opportunist. Well, not kind of, was an opportunist. He saw that all these rural areas needed these one-stop shops for people who had transportation or financial limitations. So, as an opportunist, he took advantage of the opportunity to be a first mover, breaking ground in these rural areas, and that's how he kind of built that foundation, built that reputation of catering to people. Now we know Walmart as a maturing industry. They have dominated the retail market. They are the king of all king. When you talk about the VRIO framework, Walmart is the epitome of it. They have something that's valuable, rare, hard to imitate, and their way their organization operates as far as low cost production, efficient low cost distributions, adhering to the motto of everyday low prices. They are the epitome of why they're so successful, and they have sustained this competitive advantage over the years. With that said, it's once they dominated the domestic market, they set their eyes on uncharted territory in China. I want to touch base with one of the questions on the case analysis when it asked about if the cost advantage that gave them a sustained competitive advantage here enabled them to have the same success in China. I would say definitely not. They did not meet the VRIO criteria that China needed, and they were not able to mimic the success they had domestically, internationally. When you move about the next bullet, let's go ahead and talk about my recommendations. One of my recommendations is when you think about the external analysis, the demographics, the culture change, the political, the international, just whatever it may be, you have to put in mind that you have to think like the Chinese would think, not the American way of doing things. And I think that's where Walmart was in error. They went in there and tried to pretty much copycat their success here in the United States and everything that worked here as far as centralized organization, the just their models and everything. They just tried to just copy it there in China, and it just wasn't successful because you have to kind of know your demographics and cultural. For instance, Walmart here in the United States, we think about bulk, 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 bulk. We can store stuff. The more we can buy at a lower cost. That's our mentality. In China, I was reading in the case analysis that China's not like that. China is limited and buys things in little increments because of transportation limitations and stuff like that. So that's something that we have to change our mindset. If I was working for Walmart, I would change my mindset and think of more the demographics and culture of Walmart and what they need. Another thing is I would decentralize the organization and allow that local managers have more decision-making power, because seeing that we're new entrants in there and we're not the emerging industry, we're not the maturing industry in China. We are entering an already an already established industry. It's very fragmented with different small and big companies who've already broke ground, who already had the advantages that Walmart did in the United States. Like Carrefour that I was reading already, took advantage of those external analysis cues and built its reputation in China by operating the Chinese way. So if I can better explain, if you give decision-making powers to local managers, they're able to network a little bit better. They know the culture, they know the political limitations, the wants and desires of the Chinese citizens, so they would be able to have more negotiating power when it comes to buyer and suppliers, which would give Walmart more of an advantage and more opportunity to be successful, seeing that Walmart has relationships with suppliers down here domestically. So they need that kind of like that inside man in China to help them about. Another thing, Walmart should market and stress joint venture, seeing that you're the foreign person in China, the foreign company coming in China. Chinese people don't know nothing about you. So you definitely have to stress and build on those local partnerships. How can y'all both symbiotically benefit each other? Um, Not necessarily joint ventures, but if Walmart supported more local businesses, maybe it would be more citizen friendly, like wanting to commit and contribute to the economy of China, not just profit and gain selfishly. So I think that would help it Walmart build its reputation with the Chinese people and gain consumer interest and pretty much allow the Chinese people to put their foot in the door. And Walmart can, take advantage of that aspect and try to not only get their foot in the door, but keep on luring them in by gaining consumer interest by supporting the local businesses. I think that Walmart needs to revisit its mission that made it successful in the United States and pretty much reorganize it so that it's more China friendly, because they need to remember that what made it successful to the Americans may not make it successful here in the United States, because it's simply not the same. It's just not the same culture. You can't operate that way. So going back to the VRIO framework and why Walmart wasn't that successful is because there was already companies established there, and Walmart really didn't have the upper hand in that. Let's say a discussion of strategies, resources, organizational structures, controls, and compensation policies that would necessarily be to implement. I would say you would have to organize it where the power is more with the local managers. The controls, compensation policies, something that would interest the Chinese or something that would interest Americans to transfer over to the Walmarts to start laying the grounds and learning about the culture, kind of, submerging themselves in the culture like the other companies did. But pretty much my strategy would just be, if you're going to open up a foreign business in a different country that knows not much about you, just don't go in there thinking the American way is the right way, pretty much. But that's my recommendation, if that makes sense. Just to, go in there. Walmart should build its rapport, build its credibility before it tries to make all these moves. I think Carrefour emerged so quickly and they saturated the market so quickly and they moved about so fast that it kind of inhibited Walmart from being able to have the same success with all these issues with infrastructure and stuff like that Walmart needs to be efficient. I don't think it was well thought out. I think they could have did a little bit better of a job as far as planning and building the land and the development that they needed, and then start implementing the store itself. But anyhow, that is my video recommendation. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to me babble.